So welcome back to my parents' bungalow renovation again. This week I'm going to show you how I did the guttering to go underneath the new roof that's been installed. And I'll catch you up to date with all the other jobs like the canopy there and the spotlights. I think it looks awesome, but there's a cool surprise around the corner. Anyway, keep on watching to see how we get on. And I hope you all had a great Christmas and start to the new year. We actually treated ourselves to another narrowboat holiday over Christmas, and during that time my parents had been working on the roof and sending me loads of pictures of the progress. Apparently so many were damaged that my dad just thought, let's just replace them all. And they were kindly sent a free skip hire service from Scoop, and it was the largest biffer one available. By the way, this isn't paid, but if you do want to use their new online order service, if it's convenient, I'll leave the link below. My dad also wanted to extend the roof to where the garage is, and also fit a Velux window to add natural light to the bathroom. Because, don't forget, the bathroom window's view would be a garage brick wall, which wasn't ideal. So I really wish I was there to capture it all. And they also wanted to add a canopy at the front as well, which I was worried how this would turn out, but I love this. And it's all had new fascia as well. So now onto the guttering. I decided I wanted to do this job because if I think a job looks boring, then it's a good idea to push myself out of my comfort zone to learn. So right now I'm familiarising myself with all the parts. But the first area my dad wanted us to start on was the front of the garage. My dad's asked me to start checking with the spirit level first to see if everything's level, but this will be the highest point with a slight slope working its way down towards the drain. So he's happy with it being level, and I'm mounting my first bracket towards the top far right. I found it easier to find out where I wanted to put the screw, take the bracket away, and instead of pilot holing a drill, I'd partially insert the screw, remove it, then put the bracket back and drive the screw home. When I'm up in the air, I really don't feel comfortable holding two combi drills. And I certainly wouldn't have felt comfortable if this was a house. And annoyingly, I don't think I've pressed record, but I'd already held the corner piece in the corner and drew a pencil line just next to it, so I knew where that stopped, and then gave it a couple of inches for my next bracket. But this was positioned about 1 centimetre lower for that slight dip. And after fixing that to the fascia, I've got a long piece of string and it's already attached to the opposite one, and I'm attaching it to this one to get a straight line. And this had to be really tight because we're going to use it to position our next brackets in between. Then after measuring the distance between the centre of each bracket, I'm marking with a pencil every 40 centimetres. And these are going to be where my new brackets go. And yes, I'm wearing a balaclava because it was so cold. Then I'd grab a bracket, make sure the pencil line was dead centre of each one, hold it up to the string line where it's just touching, and mark where my screw holes were going to be. But I'd go along marking them all first so I knew my string line wouldn't be knocked out of place. So back to the corner piece. There's a protruding line just inside where the guttering shouldn't go past, and while holding it in the corner I transferred that line onto the fascia board. Then you can just about see I was past the tape measure and measuring up to that line from the start of the other end, and transferring that length to the guttering and cutting with a handsaw. And I think this was probably the trickier part, is fitting the guttering inside the clipped pieces. So I've got an end cap, for example, here. You've got to hook it on and tease it into place and then clip it in. And now to pop the other one on. But this was definitely the hardest of all, is slotting it in on an angle, but there's some notches on the brackets where it can block it from going in. So if you're having trouble, you need to go and inspect them all. So that was the first one done with a slight slope. We then repeated the same thing to work our way around to the front. And we definitely needed a joint piece for this one. And with it being winter as well, it just got too dark to film properly. And now we've got the guttering in place. We're working out exactly where the drain is below. I'm so sorry how blurry this is. And used a hole saw to create the hole. The other thing that my dad pointed out is make sure these rubber seals are pushed in properly, because some of them come out and can cause leaks, which is not what you want. So we're on another cold day, although yes, it's sunny. And I'm now on the opposite side of the bungalow, pretty much mirroring the work that I did the previous week. But because we've got a gable end roof, my dad recommended screwing the end of the roof plastic trim directly through the top of the end cap of the guttering. It's important that you screw it towards the top, otherwise it will leak. But we couldn't find a tiny drill bit to create a pilot hole. So my dad's showing me a trick of hacksawing off the top of a nail, putting it in the combi drill, and then using that as a drill bit to pilot hole. It's certainly not as quick because it's obviously not designed for the job, but I got there in the end. So for the downpipe, I found it a little bit more like a jigsaw puzzle. So I'm getting a lesson now of where one of the join pieces should always slot inside and it's facing upwards. It should never be upside down, otherwise the water will leak out of the join. And my dad's holding another piece where it needs to join, but with a 1-inch gap away from the wall to allow for the brackets. So I used a tape measure and I'm measuring inside those gaps, including the lip pieces, and that would be my first downpipe cut. And after putting that in position, we'd then measure the distance from where that started to 2 inches into the drain. And after I got the long cut, we put 2 brackets in situ. I'd mark out where I needed to drill my holes just on the inside so my brackets would clamp to the guttering, and that would also hold it into place. Oh, and I used roll plugs as well. So I'm glad I pushed myself out of my comfort zone and just cracked on with it. Now if you've seen something that I forgot to explain, please comment below, and I can't wait to show you the other progress of the things that I've been doing.